Hello everyone and welcome to another Sunday afternoon chat on a windy Sunday afternoon. And this is the second Sunday afternoon chat that I've done. The first one, as I got about 3/4 of the way through it, the audio went out on my stinking little recording machine that I've got here. I use an iPhone. Most of y'all know I use an iPhone. I just simply plug it into a little, I can't remember the name of it, but little receiver, and we got a microphone on. It cuts out all the wind noise. It works really well. But at times, the little dongle that goes between the two, sound just quits for absolutely no reason at all. I can't see that. It has no way on the front to let me know that. And so I'm talking and nothing's happening. But you know that a lot of times I'm talking, it's not worth listening to. So anyway, we'll start this Sunday afternoon chat out by telling you where we've been this week. We've been in Las Vegas all week. That's right, I say we. I've been there with my beautiful wife, Chris. I took Chris with me to Las Vegas. Sherry and Jack went along with us. I brought them along so that Chris could have a good time while I was working the SEMA Show, SEMA Auto Show for Shell. Shell introduced their new Shell Outdoors oil, Pennzoil Outdoors oil out there. Which is one of the most exciting things at the show this week. The SEMA Show is a fantastic show. It's absolutely fantastic. And I autographed out there for a couple of days. We stayed one day extra, and Sherry and Jack took us to see America's Got Talent show. I've never watched the show on television. I'm going to start watching it. Absolutely incredible. It's an absolutely incredible show. And we just had a ball there. Chris and I was just mesmerized by everything that happened at that show. Like I said, one of the most exciting things that happened at the SEMA show was Pennzoil announced their Power Sport oil. And they are coming out with a Power Sport oil. They've already had Pennzoil Marine. Now, you know I promote mostly for Shell Rotella. We do some work for Shell Quaker State Oil also, and we do a little work in the Pennzoil brand. Probably be doing a little bit more with Pennzoil this next year as they roll this new Pennzoil Outdoors oil out, or Power Sport oil, whatever you want to call it. You know, the marine oil that we've had has been two-cycle oil. They've had that for a long time. It's very popular. And I've been after them for the last 3 or 4 years to make me a four-stroke oil, And they will have in this Power Sport oil the marine four-stroke. Mercury Motors, which you know I've run Mercury Motors ever since I was a teenager in high school. I had a 20 horsepower Mercury, and they've not even made a two-cycle engine in like 3 or 4 years. I think this might be the 4th year, either this year or this year coming up, that our new engines that we're putting on our boats right now. I've got a new 2023 250 horsepower Mercury four-stroke going on my new Ranger 521R right now, being built right now. It's over at Bass Pro Shop getting rigged right now as we speak. And but anyway, they've got the Power Sport oil. They'll also, in addition to the four-stroke engines, have oil for our side-by-sides, our four-wheelers, our snowmobiles, our jet skis, our motorcycles, basically anything that runs out there in the Power Sport marketplace. The Pennzoil Power Sport oil, and it'll be marked specifically for motorcycles or for jet skis and snowmobiles and stuff like that. So we'll have it for all of that. Also, we got coming up this month Black Friday. Now, at the end of this, I want to talk about something that I want you to do for the rest of this month. I wanted to make something special there. But we got Thanksgiving coming up, and they have big sales around Thanksgiving. I think that Black Friday, I'm not too knowledgeable on this kind of stuff, but I think that Black Friday is, Thanksgiving has always been a time for eating, a time for hunting and fishing for me. I don't worry about sales around Thanksgiving. But I think Black Friday is the Friday after Thanksgiving. I think it's the day after Thanksgiving. And we will be offering at JimmyHoustonOutdoors.com a 20% discount on things ordered on that Black Friday. So we've got our own Black Friday sale. We've got everything you'll get a 20% discount on, excluding pecans. I'll hopefully remember to talk about pecans a little bit later in this Sunday afternoon chat. But 20% discount, and you'll use a code in order to get that discount. The code is Friday. So on Black Friday, 20% discount on everything from JimmyHoustonOutdoors.com. It's a great place to order new rod and reel for your favorite fishermen. Jimmy Houston Outdoors books. We've got the Catch a Better Life book as well as our Catch a Day devotional. We've got a few other books on there that I've written that's on that. We've got all kinds of stuff on there. We've got, obviously, pretty much a full line of Lucky Strike products on there. Jimmy Houston Outdoors, the Blaze Series rods and reels, as well as the other Jimmy Houston rod and reels. Lots and lots of stuff on there, hats, t-shirts, a lot of great gift items, and most of those gift items are like $20 less. Solar bat sunglasses, Jimmy Houston solar bat sunglasses, we've got all of that on there. Now, the other sale that I think is the Monday following Thanksgiving is called Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday, and that's when you have all the internet sales. Well, we will be doing a Cyber Monday sale also, but in order to get the Cyber Monday deals, you have to be someone that's receiving our newsletter. That's right, our newsletter. To get the discounts, to get the deals that we have for that particular day, you need to be somebody that's receiving the discount, receiving our newsletter. Our newsletter is absolutely free, it doesn't cost you a penny. Got about 10,000 people getting that newsletter now. We send that out on the 1st of every month. Those of you that get the newsletter just got it, and I think you'll agree with me, it's absolutely fantastic. I get lots of electronic newsletters, comes in your email. I get lots of electronic newsletters from a lot of people, friends and companies that we work with, and sometimes people we don't even know. We just maybe have bought something from them, so they send us a newsletter out every month. They're all pretty good, but I've never seen anybody's newsletter that was informational and could help people as much as our newsletter. Kyle Combs does that newsletter for us, and he just does a remarkable job. I mean, an absolutely remarkable job. Kyle's Sherry's son, and he works for us full time, and he just does it's just a bang up. I mean, I look forward to it every month myself. It doesn't cost a single penny, totally free. All you got to do is just give us your email address. You can do that by giving us a call on any of our numbers. They're posted everywhere. Or you can go to jimmyhoustonoutdoors.com. It's got an icon you can click on there, give us your email number, or you can simply take on your phone and type in Jimmy News, N-E-W-S, 2282, 2282. We will answer you with an email and show you exactly what to do that, and you get on our emails. And I would imagine that, I'm not positive of this is up to Kyle, and he didn't tell me one way or the other. I would imagine that if you subscribe between now and Cyber Monday to that free newsletter, doesn't cost anything, if you subscribe to that newsletter, I'm pretty sure that Kyle will give you the discount. And the way we'll handle that is we will send you a code in the mail. If you're on our newsletter, we'll send you a code in the mail where you can receive the discounts on Cyber Monday. So you can text Jimmy News 2282, or you can give us a call on any of our numbers. You call us on our Pecan phone even if you want. Give us your email address. That's all we need. We don't need your shipping address, your telephone number, anything. We just need your email address. Pecan phone number, by the way, is 580-618-7260 to order pecans, or you can go to jimmyhoustonoutdoors.com to order pecans. We have sent out hundreds of orders, and people are already contacting us back, telling us how great the pecans are, many of them ordering more. I apologize for the high shipping, but that's the government's fault. It's not mine. They've run up the price of everything, and I was in Vegas this week. Gasoline was right at $5 a gallon. And my guess is it'll probably go up right after this election next week. We need to talk about that election just a little bit too, if I can remember to do it. But if you're not receiving that newsletter, go to jimmyhoustonoutdoors.com or write Jimmy News 2282, Jimmy News 2282. We are going to be doing quite a little bit of fishing this next week. The weather's going to be pretty for 3 days of it. I'm planning on doing some crappie shows over the next 2 or 3 weeks before Thanksgiving here in Oklahoma, maybe in Kansas, maybe in Texas or Arkansas as well, or Missouri, somewhere around within our 4 or 5 state area right here, doing some crappie shows. And as always, if you are on our Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing channel, and that is a new channel. It's not the regular old Jimmy Houston Outdoors channel. That's a new channel we just started within the last month. Only about 2,800 plus of y'all have subscribed to that channel. Go over there and subscribe to that channel right now if you want to see any of the fishing stuff. And we are loading it up with fishing stuff, putting the stuff up there 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week. We're putting fishing stuff up on that channel. A lot of little short stuff on there about how to do things, a lot of full episodes on there. Always we try to get up on Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. That's Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing channel. You got to subscribe to that. On the other channel, which was Jimmy Houston Outdoors, that is Jimmy and Chris Houston's Twin Eagle Ranch. No fishing on that channel anymore, all just ranch stuff on that channel. I've talked so long the shadow's about to get me in it. I guess I can move a little bit, maybe stay in the sunshine. Said you could just shut up, Jimmy, that would work too. But I got just a little bit more to talk to you about on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Oklahoma. So if you're not subscribed to Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing, please go over there and subscribe to that channel right now. As always, we take from when we're shooting television shows, we'll show you some clips of that television show within the next week or so on Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. We're going to be concentrating on crappie the next couple, 2 or 3 weeks. Our show will be the new shows, which will be 45 years on national television. Those shows will begin the first weekend in January. Some will begin the last weekend in December, the last Saturday in December or the first Saturday in January. We will again be back on ESPN again this next year, ESPN2, Saturday mornings at 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time. We'll be on there for 6 months, the first 26 weeks. I keep begging them to put me on there year-round like most of our other networks. So far they hadn't done it. If you get a chance to drop ESPN a note, tell them, please put Jimmy Houston Outdoors on all year round. But we're on the first 6 months, first 26 weeks of the year, Saturday mornings at 7:30 Eastern Time. We're on the Discovery Channel the first quarter of the year. That's really all I could afford was the time during the first quarter, but we'll be on there on Sunday mornings. ESPN Saturday mornings, Discovery Channel Sunday mornings. We're on a lot of other networks year round. The Pursuit Network, which is the largest outdoors only network out there, far bigger than the other outdoor channels that are on there. The Pursuit Network, I think we're on there 3 times a week. We're on WFN, the World Fishing Network, which is owned and operated by the Outdoor Channel. We're on that network there, WFN, 52 weeks a year. I think we have 2 or 3 plays a week on there. We're on AT&T Sports Southwest, which is down in the Texas area. Same network that carries the Houston Astros, carries the Houston Rockets, carries a lot of local sports in Texas. We're on AT&T Sports Southwest year round. If you don't live in that area, you can get AT&T Sports Southwest on I lost what they called it, DirecTV. We have DirecTV ourselves. DirecTV, I think it's also on Dish, but I know it's on DirecTV. We are also on the Family Channel. We're on the Action Network. We're on YouTube Television. We're on Wired to Fish. We're on the Heartland Network, which is a big network down in the Southeast. It's a whole lot like what the old TNN, the Nashville network is the Heartland Network. We're on there 52 weeks a year. Also, the only networks we're on for 26 weeks is ESPN, and the only one we're on the first quarter is the Discovery Network. Now for some good news. It's a little bit of bad, a little bit good. We let a bunch of babies out here a while back. We have found 2 of those babies that have been killed, and so I called my buddy Joe Arms, who works for the Agriculture Department, is a government trapper. And Joe has had some back surgery and some problems lately and had some surgery, and it's been a hard recovery. And Joe basically almost got out of bed and come out over to my place and set some coyote traps out. Joe is also a good friend. He comes over and eats with our crawfish. He goes to my church. I visit with him on Sundays quite a bit. And he came over, basically got out of bed and came over and set some traps, and we have caught 2 coyotes and 1 bobcat the last couple of nights. Well, I don't know if we caught anything last night. That was night before last and the night before that. 2 coyotes and 1 bobcat. So we've got some of those killers. We need to catch a lot more. We need to wipe them out. Some of you might think it's cruel to trap coyotes and bobcats, and you think of bobcats, you don't think of your little house cat that you have running around your living room. These are big animals. They're like 4, 5, 6, 7 times or 10 times bigger than your house cat, and they're killers. They're born and bred killers, just like a coyote is. And they're very effective because they can climb trees, and a coyote can't do that. So coyotes kill, I mentioned this before, some of you might not have caught it, they kill between 40 and 50% of all the baby fawns, no matter where you live. If you have deer in your state, just about every state has them, they kill 40 to 50%, many of them the very first week of their lives. Little baby fawn carried in its mama's belly and born. Maybe he's got a twin brother, twin sister, and they get killed by a coyote sometimes the first 2 or 3 days of their life. But they take a huge toll on them. So all I can say is I don't feel sorry for them. You all need to become coyote hunters. Become coyote hunters. The pecans, you can call our pecan phone number, 580-618-7260 to order pecans, or go to jimmyhoustonoutdoors.com and look at them there. Most of y'all are ordering now through the internet as opposed to the telephone. That's just a sign of the time. You can call us on any of our numbers. Some of you have some of the other numbers. You call us on any of our numbers and order pecans. You can use the 918-457-5115. You can use the pecan phone number, 580-618-7260, any of them, and order pecans. We've shipped out hundreds of orders. We're getting back rave reviews of how great the pecans are. As we do every year, the reason they're great is they're fresh. They've never been frozen. This is the only time of the year you can get fresh pecans. We quit shipping excuse me, we quit shipping probably the first or second week in January. Once we run out of the fresh pecans, we've sent them all of our other pecans to the processor and we're out of pecans, we quit shipping. So then the pecans you buy from then on anywhere in the stores have all been frozen. I want to remind you to be sure and vote Tuesday. This is Tuesday, coming up this Tuesday, vote. I've already voted. Chris and I vote early every year because a lot of times we're just simply not here on election Tuesday. We're off working somewhere. So we've already voted. Be sure and vote and pay attention to who you vote for. And I think the easiest thing in the world, for goodness sakes, don't just vote because it's a Democrat or Republican. Don't do that. Vote for that individual and try to line that individual's values up with yours. In my situation, family values are very important to me. I'm interested in people that have the same type family values that I do. I'm interested in people that are godly. I want a godly person representing me. Not only the 5 congressmen we have here in Oklahoma, and that's all we have is 5. We're a little bitty state, but we do have 2 United States senators. We got as many senators as they do in Texas and California and New York and Florida and all those big states. So we've got 2 out of 100, just like Florida's got 2 out of 100, and Texas and California's got 2 out of 100. So it's really important to the senator. Make sure that that senator lines up with your values. If you're a family person, you believe in wives and kids and family values and things like that, make sure your candidate lines up with that also. Personally, and this is just my personal opinion, you might feel 100% difference, but I believe that God created us, men and women. I don't believe that He created us its, and I don't think really and truly that my kids, and I raised 2 kids, I just love them to death. I'm so proud of the kind of men and women that they grew up to be. I don't think that at third and fourth and fifth and sixth grade, they could decide what they wanted to do in their life. I don't think they could decide if they wanted to be something other than a boy or a girl. I don't think they ever wanted to be anything other than a boy or a girl, but that's important. That's part of my family values. It may not be a part of your family values at all. I think that the individual, part of my values is the individual be a godly person. So I'm interested in that. But the one thing I think you should do before you vote, and do this with your local, your county sheriff, your county superintendent, your county commissioner, your county judges, look and see. All you have to do is just Google up their name. 5 minutes, it'll tell you. And if that individual is is a member of First Baptist Church wherever, or if he's got God somewhere in his repertoire down there, he's probably a godly person. He may not be, but he probably is. But that's important to see that. If it's not there, he's probably not. He's probably not. And I tell you something that just literally broke my heart. In fact, I can't even hardly talk about it. It makes me tear up and almost cry just to think about it. I heard our president this week on national television take God's name in vain. And he was down in the South, somewhere down there, Georgia or Alabama or somewhere in Florida, I don't know where he was. That wasn't important. What is important is he took God's name in vain on national television. And maybe because he was in the South, he might think that's the way us Southerners talk. Can I tell you, Mr. President, we don't. I hardly ever hear that done anymore in my lifetime. Have I heard it a lot in my lifetime? Absolutely. To say God and use that bad word back behind it. We don't talk that way in the South, Mr. President. We just don't do it. Some do, most of us don't. And I think that's we just don't talk that way. That's like shaking your fist in the hand of God. We don't do that. We don't do that in the South. Most of y'all don't do it anywhere else either. So that just about made me want to cry when I heard that. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, be sure and vote. Make sure that candidate lines up with your values. They don't, and many times you look at them and they're both of them rotten to the core. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it many, many times. You got to pick out which one lines up with some of your values, or which one you think will do you and your family the most damage over the next 2 years or 4 years or 6 years or however long we're electing them for. Because we've got politicians now that are doing us a lot of damage. We can do that we see that every time we go to the grocery store. We see that every time we fill our gas up. I was out in Phoenix, Las Vegas this week. Gasoline alone is right at $5 a gallon, $4.80 something a gallon. Diesel about $1.50 higher than that. And diesel costs every one of us, even if we don't burn any diesel. We burn diesel. We run tractors, we burn diesel. But so we're paying that high price for diesel. But diesel costs you whether you ever burn a gallon of diesel or not, because everything that you buy has got the cost of diesel built into it. So it's really important. Sometimes you have to pick the best, the better of two candidates. All right, let's talk about something really, really good. Thanksgiving coming up. Thanksgiving coming up. The shade is catching me rapidly. But Thanksgiving is coming up real soon here. Try to level that up just a little bit. Thanksgiving. We're just a couple of weeks away from it. Isn't that amazing? That's the time of the year, guys and girls, but guys especially, when we start eating, and we don't quit until January 1st. We eat pies and cakes and turkeys and hams and everything. And it's going to be harder to afford all that stuff this year. I know it's going to be harder for us to afford it too. But I've got all my kids and grandkids and stuff coming down to Ranch for Thanksgiving week, except for Sherry and Mandy and Jordyn. They're going to Disney World, and they won't be with us that week. But all the rest of them will. So anyway, that's a really big deal. I can't get that thing level. It's just unlevel. Just have to live with it that way. But I guess I'll let this one down a little bit. Is that level? No, it's unlevel the other way now, Jimmy. But I'm going to tell you, here's what I want you to do. You know, we've got so much to be thankful for. Don't wait till Thanksgiving. Let's make this a Thanksgiving month. And let's make this a Thanksgiving month. And I'll tell you what, I'll try to figure out something where we can make a December a Christmas month too. We'll talk about at the end of this month when December starts. But we've only got less than 2 months left in the whole year. The whole year, 2022 will be merely a memory here pretty soon. So let's make this a Thanksgiving month. Let's make it a Thanksgiving month. And here's what I'd like for you to do. And I tell you, you will be so blessed if you do this. And I just thought of this as I was doing the chat. The first one the audio was bad. I'm hoping the audio is working right now. I don't know if it is or not. I may have to do 3 of these things. I'm about to run out of voice. But let's make this a Thanksgiving month. You know how we make it a Thanksgiving month? And this is, what is this? Garmin says, oh, it's the 6th already. Let's take a sheet of paper out somewhere, write it on your icebox. That's a good place. Oh, we love to write things on the notepad on the icebox. Write it on your icebox, and let's write down 6 things that we are thankful for. 6 things. You can write down 6 things. You can write down 100 things you're thankful for. Write down 6 things that you thank God for right now. November 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll get you through today. And then tomorrow, on the 7th, write down another thing you're thankful for, and another thing. At the end of the month, you're going to have 30 days, says September, April, June, and November. You'll have 30 things on there that you're thankful for, that you thank God for. And even if you're not a Christian, you've got things that you're thankful for because God's blessing you. He blesses you through His grace, through His mercy, even if you're not a Christian. So you do that, and at the end of the month, you're going to have 30 things you're grateful for. And here's what I think some of you ought to do that's got a little bit of time and got the ability to do it, is take those 30 things and put them into something real pretty and hang them on the wall and put in there thankfulness 2022 or Thanksgiving month 2022. And remember that in 10 or 15 or 20 years, you look back and say, these are the things that I was thankful for then. And look at this, I've still got this blessing. I've still got this blessing. I've still got this blessing. And I think it'll be amazing. That ought to be something we start as a tradition. I just thought of that. But write that down. Some of y'all do this, most of you won't. I won't do it probably, but I'll try. Okay, I'm gonna try. And but we could write down a bazillion things that we're thankful for. But write those down, and I bet it makes you a better person. I bet it makes you a better person by doing that. Just write those down, and at the end of the month, you've got all these things that you're thankful for. Guys and girls, be sure and vote. Go ahead and pig out this month. This is a Thanksgiving month, not just a Thanksgiving day. And remember, I sure do love you.